I'm okay with it. Now, I'm not Asian, so I can't say if I'm allowed to be offended by it, but I'm okay with it. But I was also okay with Rachel Dolezal. If she wants to be black, fine. Just fuck up her credit and make sure she goes to jail.
No, we're switching topics. All right. So the current editor-in-chief of Marvel, C.B. Cebulski, was basically revealed to have been writing in about 2005 to 2006. He pretended to be a Japanese man named Akira Yoshida, and was writing comics and submitting them and getting them published, all while pretending to be a Japanese the Japanese person. And I guess the big question is, should he step down? Is this cultural appropriation? Like, is this appropriate?
Wait, hold on.
He Rachel Dolezal is
What I'm going to say real quick, it's a joke, but it's true. I have a white man's voice on the phone.
Yeah.
When I talk on the phone,
every black man,
every black person has a white voice, so that I can get hired or not hung up the fuck on, or my bank will pay attention. I do it for terrible cultural reasons, but technically, this guy did the same thing. He is a white guy in this industry that's not going to take his name seriously. So he did the same thing. A lot of cosplayers are going, my name is Mika-chan. No, it's not, Becky. Turn it into something else, and he moved forward. So for me, I'm okay with it. Now, I'm not Asian, so I can't say if I'm allowed to be offended by it, but I'm okay with it. But I was also okay with Rachel Dolezal. If she wants to be black, fine. Just fuck up her credit and make sure she goes to jail.
A significant number of female writers will use pen names that suggest they're male.
S.E. Hinton.
J.K. Rowling.
Right.
Yeah, the publishers will suggest it because
Whoever wrote Nancy Drew.
if readers know that it's a female writer, there's like a huge risk that male readers won't even bother with the book.
It's the same thing when it comes to like the art for the art or something, right?
Also, the background is that this particular person wanted to write for DC, and you're not allowed to obviously work for the enemy when you work for Marvel. So Cebulski wrote under the pseudonym and was submitting shit to like a bunch of different companies, and then Marvel's like, oh, I don't know who this is, but I like your comics. So then they hired the pseudonym, and then it was like one of those sitcoms where like everything goes to shit. And basically, that's what happened.
So he misses Doubtfire, like the end of Mrs. Doubtfire, two different
Oh my
things.
god, but he puts on the, that's...
Yeah, it was
Mickey
yellow
Rooney's
face
that shit.
Yellow face Mrs. Doubtfire.
To be fair, Snoop wasn't a dog.
He's appropriating dogs.
Like, I didn't like Ryan. So,
Yeah.
just to be clear though, all he took was a name.
Yeah.
Well, there was like a little more to it. Like I guess they did like the Marvel letters to the editor, and then he was writing about like, oh, this is my experiences as being a Japanese person.
God damn it! One more step. This
If
shouldn't
it
take
had
that.
just been the name, then this would be a whole different story. But adding that into the mix makes this a lot more arbitrary.
But there is like a little bit of extenuating circumstances because the guy lived in Japan for like a decade. He made those like shitty like Marvel like fake anime manga thingies.
That makes him Japanese.
Yeah, they had like a fake like,
So they're all Japanese.
yeah. Well, and his wife's Japanese.
I
Like
think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so.
I think the guy was pretty invested like in the culture more than somebody just trying to get those like affirmative action bucks. Like it was a little bit more invested than just like your typical weed.
He was in too deep.
He was in too deep.
That's all that. It started off as something simple. I mean, let's think about it. Let's just say that you took a pseudonym as, I don't know, a Kenyan. But, it's like, okay.
My queen!
Please don't bring up dead.
Do you know the way?
It's a knuckles law. It was bound to happen. We're just taking it there.
The point is, you were a different role, and then you did really good in that role. And then that became like your handle. Now you're stuck with that handle.
Yeah,
now you can't just call yourself something else.
little thing
but
there.
now people want to meet you, and you can't meet you, but they want to at least write to them. So you're like, okay, let me write them back. And then it's like, okay, so how's Japan? And you're like, it's great.
That is a great crunchy sugar. As a
There's
great
still a lot
country
of
singer once
radiation.
said, he was accidentally racist.
Oh,
I'll
man.
say
I can
he
say
just made a stupid choice that he couldn't really have foreseen a consequence.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, hold on.
That is
He tried to get out
It's almost just like
He
right
tried to
now.
get
the
out.
path, and he just couldn't navigate correctly.
he screwed himself. Yeah, like it was a good idea at the time, and then he thought it was a bad idea, but it was too late.
Hold on.
So
It's,
my-
go ahead.
Oh, so minor thing, not quite on it, but sort of on it. 'Cause just interesting how people get tied up by their own sort of image, to their own brand. Bob Ross. Moment of silence.
That was my dad.
Bob
Press
Ross
F to play your
did
specs.
not naturally have curly hair. He actually had long, straight hair.
Oh, you shut your whore mouth, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Fucking hell.
Why? So yeah. He,
My childhood
is a lie.
Look it
I
up.
saw PBS documentaries, guys. He came out of the military and was like low on money, wanted to do stuff with his art, and he decided, you know what, I'm gonna go get a perm. He got a perm,
And what a
and,
perm.
yeah, he got a perm, and he had that classic fro. So
Oh.
show starts, and he's like, I want to cut my hair, but it got to the point, it got popular enough where he couldn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't cut, because all of a sudden you switch it out to that other hair. That's not Bob Ross anymore. You know him as this guy, this soft-spoken guy with the fro.
Kinda like-
so again, neither here nor there. I just something to kind of like sit on and think is interesting, like how you can get trapped by the
But
by
you're
the
right.
image you push.
You're right, and there's lots of examples like that. Actually,
Yeah.
a pretty big one is Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He does not talk like
And,
that.
and the guy who played fucking Norman Bates on in the first Psycho. He never got work after.
Now in the
Guy played Buffalo
in
Bill
the
too.
opposite direction, there was a rap artist used to go by the name of Rich Chiga.
Oh yeah.
Now he's Rich Brian.
Rich Brian.
Because he doesn't want to.
But, you know, you can find a whole bunch of things. Like in the 90s, there was a rapper called Snow. We thought he was a black guy. But we saw him on real life, and it was like, oh, you're not black.
He was Canadian, it turns out.
When you found out that
No.
Man, let me give you a better example. Jamiroquai. When I found out that was a soulful black woman, that it was a white.
the people who sing "Play That Funky Music, White Boy" is a white boy.
Oh, what?
It was a call to action, my God.
It was an autobiography.
Rick Astley as well.
So
Rick Astley.
But so
And then there's one more. I think his name Bob something.
what that really adds to the point is it fucking works. They had the representation, and you know what? It actually did add on to the reputation. When you think that Bobby Caldwell was a black man, that one still blows my mind. I found out about that last year.
Oh, I think that's the one I was looking up right now.
I think as
Yeah,
long
what you would do for love. That was.
That was the one.
yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Mind blown.
I feel
Check
like
his
I need
pulse.
to.
Now, mind you, that doesn't change
That's
it. I still
exhibit
love his
A right
music,
now. Hold on.
but you know.
I think as long as the intent is not inherently malicious, like if I just decided to become Kwang Ping for no good reason and start chopping shit, I'm terrible. But
I'd say there's a limit.
there's a limit. But I don't feel as he did it completely maliciously.
Right, right.
All right.
So, backing up Lamar on this one, Eminem.
The Beast Boy. a man,
Well,
correct.
Right.
No,
Beastie
but
Boys
I'm saying Eminem doesn't get like shit for like cultural appropriation for like jumping into the rap culture because like he does the work.
He also had cornrows once.
I mean, we all saw 8 Mile. You know, he won that rap contest,
Yeah.
so that makes him
That
like
makes him
honorary.
totally-
It was make or break.
I will
We need to give him one. We need
Small
to give him one.
tangent. I
He
will
had
say
one shot.
I was never offended by Eminem.
That's what I'm getting at though. He was respectful. That's what I mean. He's not like taking it for himself. Like this belongs to the white man.
He lived it out. Like, he may have done it as a white man.
That was
he
the-
didn't talk about anything.
But even before I knew his history, I wasn't like when I listened to him, I didn't feel the same thing I would feel when someone's trying to take something from me.
But the other big part of it.
It's not adapting the either the culture or the work to your needs. It's adapting yourself. It's a way to integrate yourself into the culture, into the music, into that. Because I think he immersed himself into rap instead of trying to make it like trying to change it for him and his angle. And I think that's kind of appropriation in general. Like if you understand the culture and you can find a way to sort of jump into it and and you learn the rules, you learn this and that, then I think it's okay. You know, it's like people talk about like Japanese tea parties or different things like that, where it's like you come in and you learn first, and then you kind of like slowly will walk in instead of like, wow, I love tea. Let's add some whiskey to this and make this like we'll put up some flags here, some speakers, and like try to turn it into your own thing. Like where you're just like ripping off to make it what you want it to be instead of like trying to.
And to jump on with that, like some good malicious intent, or that's phrased oddly. I'm drunk. Sorry.
Good. It's ALA. That's how it works.
That's
our
idea.
Just speak up.
So I'm gonna actually relate this last thing. Is this our last topic?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well I'm gonna relate this.
like 10 minutes.
I'm gonna relate this back to all the other topics because I think it is related to everything we talked about tonight. The pseudonym thing and Eminem, or not Eminem, but Rich Chiga and all that stuff is a symptom of culture. It's a symptom of people being of culture working against people, making people move stuff. So that I think like Rich Chiga and the WB guy are symptoms of good people trying to work through culture sort of oppressing them, and Logan Paul and things like that, and the movie industry are symptoms of the culture, how people can abuse it. And like they're just kind of things that like they're not great, but it's not the fault of the person doing it. It's the fault of a culture at large, and that's mostly what all of the discussion today has been about, I think.
Sure.
We actually have a theme to this.
I guess we should
Yeah, that was
go,
totally planned.